Can anyone tell me what the word prediction means? Let's review the word prediction.
Prediction means to take a guess.
Take a guess. Is it important to make predictions, even though sometimes we may be wrong?
Yes.
Right, because we don't automatically know everything, right? Okay, so today we are going to make a prediction on how many M&Ms are in our bags. So without counting them, I want you to just look at it. Don't count them, but take a guess how many you think's in there. Then I want you to write your number, your guess, your prediction on the board right here. We'll put guess, which also means prediction. Write your number. How many M&Ms you think are in your bag? Okay, 30? I think I have 24. I'm gonna put K for your name and E for mine, so we don't get our numbers mixed up, okay? Okay. I want you to open your bag of M&Ms and I want you to sort them by color. I'll do mine while you're doing yours. Sort them by color. Let me know when you got them sorted.
Okay.
Okay, now I want you to share with your shoulder partner and discuss what you see with your colors and your M&Ms. What do you see? What do you see the most of, the least of? Which color? And tell your partner what your favorite color is out of these M&Ms. What's your favorite color? Blue? I think I like blue too. It's really bright. I like that. Okay, now we are going to label our graph. We're going to chart the color of our M&Ms to see how many of each color we have. Move your M&Ms out of the way, whoops. Okay, so do you know any parts of a graph? Do you know where the title goes?
At the top?
At the top. So up here would be our title. I kind of ran out of room, but what would the title of our graph be? What do you want to call it? You can name a graph whatever you want, but you want it to correspond with what you're doing.
Color?
Would we want to name this cows? No, has nothing to do with cows. So what could we name it that's going to tell us what the graph is about?
Color chart?
Color chart? Okay. So write that at the top of your chart, or of your graph. Actually, let's think of, okay. You want to use color graph instead of chart because we're actually doing
Yeah.
graph, which we are charting information. Okay, that's at the top of your page. I didn't have room, so I wrote it to the side. Okay, then we have labels. What do you think labels are going to be? Where do you think labels would be on a graph?
Maybe on the bottom?
Okay, and what would they represent?
The amount of something?
Okay. Labels would be the colors that we're dealing with. Okay, so down here our labels would go. What would our labels be? If our labels are, what are they?
Maybe how much colors are, like, how much is in a color?
Okay, so you're on the right track. Over here is going to be our scale. What do you think of when you hear scale? That's going to be the number of M&Ms we have for each color. So over here's your scale, okay? Down here's our labels. If this is our scale and this is how many M&Ms we have, what's important to know about each one? Why do we have them sorted?
So we figure out how much are there.
Of what? Why are they sorted? And what are they sorted by?
Colors.
Right, so our labels are going to be our colors. So our first color, let's go with green. So you're going to write, you can just abbreviate, G for green, right? And then we're going to do red. Then we're going to do brown. We're going to do BR for brown because blue and brown start with the same letter. Then we're going to go with orange, yellow, and BL for blue. Okay, so the labels are the colors that we have, that we just sorted by, right? So our scale is how many we have of each color. Okay, the scale is how many numbers we have of each color.
Mm-hmm.
We can count by ones, we can count by twos, you can count by fives. What number do you think would be best to count by?
5.
Okay, I think 5 would be good. I don't think 1 would be good because we have a lot of M&Ms.
Yeah.
So count by 5s. So in between these lines is going to be your other numbers, right? So you have 5, then you have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You see that? So these lines here are your you're counting by 5s. In between here is your other numbers, kind of like on a clock. Okay? So now I want you to graph your M&Ms. So, for example, I'll do one with you. I'm going to start with red. Okay? Right here's my red label. I have 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's my 5. See how we went to 5? So I have 2 reds. So I'm not going to go up very high. And I'm going to color, I should use a different. And you can use colored pencils based on the color. So it could be a colorful graph. I don't have many colors, I'll just use this one. Okay, see that?
Mm-hmm.
So by looking at this, if I didn't have my M&Ms in front of me, I would be able to look at this graph and know that I have 2 red. And we could even name this 2 red what? What are we talking about? M&Ms. So maybe we want to put M&Ms. Because without that in the title, we are not really knowing what we're talking about. Mm-hmm.
Why don't we shade 2 represent 2?
2 blocks?
Yeah.
Because each block represents 5 because we counted by 5s. So this down here would be your 1, 2, 3, 4. This line means 5. We could go by 1s, but we have more M&Ms. Like we'd have a lot of M&Ms. You could go by 1s, but in between this here represents 5. So you're just counting by 5s. Okay, so let's do another one together. I'm gonna do did you count your red? Do you have 2 red also? Okay, for example, let's do your blue. How many blue do you have?
5.
Okay, and I have 5 orange. So I'm gonna go to my orange, you go to your blue,
We shade blue.
and we're only gonna shade 1 whole block. Because we just have 5.
Oh. Yeah.
It just makes it a little faster when you do that. So there. So see, by looking far away, I'm gonna see that, oh, that's 5, because we counted by 5s. So use your blue, and you're gonna, I want you to finish your M&Ms. And then, so you finish graphing your stuff, and I'll graph mine. many more you got?
Just these two.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I want you to share with your shoulder partner, and I want you guys to compare graphs. I want you guys to see between the two of you who had the most of what color and who had the least of which color. Okay, you should be able to figure that out just by looking at your graph. Okay, Kenzie, I want you to look at my graph, and I want you to tell me what color I had the most of.
You had the most of brown.
Okay, can you tell me how many I had of brown?
2. Wait, no.
We're at the second line, which is,
10.
yeah, I had 10 brown. Which one did I have the least of?
You had the least of red.
Okay, and is there any that I had the same amount?
Yes, of orange and yellow.
Right. Okay, let me see your graph. You had the most of
Green.
green. You had 14 green?
And 12.
12. Oh, okay. And you had, did you have the same number of brown and orange, or is brown a little higher?
Brown's
looks a little higher.
higher.
Did you have the same of yellow and orange? Brown and
No.
yellow? No.
Brown and yellow.
So you had the least red.
Well,
I
yeah,
had the
brown
least
and
red
yellow,
too.
yes.
Okay, so now there's a couple ways you could count your M&Ms. You could count them just by hand, or you could come in here. You know you had, and my chart's kind of messed up, but I know I had 2 red, and 10, and 5. So you could count your M&Ms by using your chart, or you could count by just doing your M&Ms. So count your M&Ms and let's see how close we were to our predictions. Um,
44.
44, wow. I was off a little bit too. I had 35, so I was about 10 off.
You're closer than me.
Yeah, that's kind of deceiving because I did not see that many M&Ms in there. Okay, so what would smaller amounts of information or bigger amounts of information be good for a graph?
Bigger.
Bigger, right? If you had a bunch of information and you had to chart it somehow, this would be a good way to keep it organized and keep track of, keep it organized. And like I said, you could come in here and count your M&Ms based on where your bar graph stopped, right? Okay. You can put your M&Ms back in your bag.